So this is an 80's Sonor Performer set. Um, I got a couple months ago. I was looking around online like I always do, and I noticed this guitar center in Massachusetts, about an hour away, had a 70s Ludwig concert tom set for really pretty cheap. So I had a bunch of stuff kicking around that just wasn't selling. I had it up for sale for months and months and months, like a bunch of low end stuff, inexpensive snares and stuff like that, and Thomas Swing Star set, and the stuff just wasn't moving. I mean, some of it I had up for sale for like 6 months, and there was nobody interested in it. So I rounded up a bunch of stuff, loaded it in my truck, and I drove up there. And it's funny, I got there and I said, "Yeah, I'm here to look at that 70s Ludwig concert tom set you got." And he's like, "Oh no, you don't want to look at that." And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of do." So anyways, I looked at it, and I walked right by this set to look at the Ludwig, but I picked up on it. I noticed it was there. So after I looked the Ludwig over, I went over to this, and I asked him what was up with it. He said, "Oh yeah, we just took it in yesterday in trade. They were only asking 200 bucks for it because it was missing a tom. It should have a 12-inch tom that goes with it. I only got the 13, the 22 and 16, which is perfect for me because I'm like a one-up guy anyways." So I really didn't know a whole lot about the Performers, but I knew just looking at it. I looked at the shells. I could definitely tell they were beach shells, and the hardware looked just like my phonics set behind me, almost identical. There's a few little differences. Um, so I was kind of shocked at the money they gave me for all the stuff I traded in. I didn't think I was gonna have enough stuff with me to get the Ludwig set without putting up a little bit of cash, but I actually had credit left over. So I put that down on this set, and it just came in the day before, so they had to do a 20-day like police hold or something like that. And so about 2 weeks later, I rounded up some more stuff that again just wasn't selling, and ZBT, China, and some other stuff like that, and traded that in to pay for the rest of this. So and it was funny when I went to pick this up, the guy that actually traded it in was there. I guess he traded it in on a new Gretsch Catalina set or a used one. I forget. I asked him what happened to the 12-inch tom. He was like, "Oh, I traded that off years ago," and this and that. I guess he had this set for a long time. But I really, really like this set. Um, they don't go for a ton of money, but don't overlook them. They're really quality built drums. Like back in the day, like a few other brands, or most other brands, even their low end stuff was really, really decent. You know, you got some of the Ludwig Rock some of the early Tama stuff is almost as good as their high end stuff back then, or their high end almost as good as their high end stuff back then was. So yeah, these are beach shells. There's little differences with the hardware, like the claws are a little different. Some of the wing nuts, the wing bolts are a little different. But I could tell it was a nice set, and these are 6-ply toms, 9-ply bass drum. They're a lot thinner shells than the phonics, and the big difference I think is these have round over edges instead of 45s like those. So when I got it home and set it up, I didn't even bang on it, and for what they were asking for at Guitar Center, I didn't even bang on it. I just looked it over, and I could tell it was a nice set. They said they don't go for a lot of money. I don't know why, but they're really good drums, and they sound really nice. Like I said, I didn't even lay a stick on them when I was there. When I got home and I threw some new heads on it, on the toms anyways, I was really surprised at how they sound. I almost like them a little more than the phonics, and it's funny, phonics go for more than these do. So it's just a really German engineering. You know, people do say Sonor is the Rolls Royce of drums. They say that about everybody's got their favorite brand. But these are really, really nice drums, and they have these are the ones with the yellow swoosh on them. I guess not all of the performers were beech shells. Some of them were, some years were basswood or various woods. But when I saw these, I knew they were beech. They looked, the interiors, besides the shells being thinner, they look just like my phonics. So I brought them home, and it's a really cool color too. It's like a metallic blue. I've yet to clean it up, obviously. I just got it a couple months ago. But it's gonna clean up really nice, and it's gonna stay around. I'm probably gonna just keep it. If I ever start gigging again, this may be a gigging kit. It's really not, I mean, it's in really good condition too, besides just needing to be cleaned. But I'll get you guys up close to it and just point out a couple other little differences between these and the phonics, and you can see the difference in the shell thickness. So we'll do that. So this is a 13 by 10, 16 by 16, 22 by 16. I kind of like the added depth on the tom. I've been becoming a fan of big ride toms and power toms for some reason. I like all drums. I like concert toms. I like double-headed toms. I like all drums, basically. It's good for different sounds. And you can see the 13 doesn't have the badge out front because it's actually supposed to be on the other side, and this should be a 12 there, but like I said, that doesn't matter to me. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the badge on these drums. I can show it to you. It's the Performer badge with the yellow swoosh. It just looks kind of big to me, but that's minor. That's no big deal. So you can see the lugs are the same as phonic lugs. I think the bass drum mount is the same. The tom mounting system itself is pretty much the same, except for these little wing nuts here and this wing bolt are a little different on the phonic. They have like a lever, but I think it's pretty much the same other than those. And then the claws on the bass drum are a little bit different. The T-rods look the same, but the claws are a little different. And then if I get you around here, you can see the shell thickness, and it's got a round over edge. And you can clearly see those are beech shells. Especially when you look at, I'll grab my phonic tom, and if you look at that, but you can see how thick that phonic shell is with the 45-degree edge, as opposed to that floor tom. You know, the phonics are 9-ply. These are 6-ply. So obviously there's a difference, but I think the bass drum on this Performer is actually, even though it's 9-ply, the shell itself is still a little bit thinner. I think they're just smaller plies. But overall, it's a killer set. I've had it set up ever since I got it. I really like it. I really like the sound of it. If you're an AC/DC fan, granted he played phonics back in the day, but it's still Sonor, you know. But yeah, it's that, like I said, that metallic blue is like really cool. And this is gonna clean up really good. The chrome just needs to be polished. There's really not any rust on it or anything like that. So that's that one. Again, if you like the content I'm putting up here, like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And thanks for watching.